Hey everybody, Laser Ray here. Today we're going to be taking a look at an outdoor LED carriage light. I have 4 of these carriage lights around the outside of my house and they're about 15 years old. This past winter when it started getting really cold, 2 of them started failing. One of them started blinking about a month ago, and last week the other one completely failed altogether. I think it's the driver inside and not the LED itself that's failing, so I got some online and let me show you how I replaced them. Here are the supplies you're going to need. You need some wire nuts, some zip ties with a mounting hole, wire stripper, screwdriver. Here are the actual drivers for the LED. Let me take a close up here. Got these at LED Supply for about $10 each shipped. Not too bad. The first thing we want to worry about here is safety. So go ahead down to the breaker box, turn off the breaker for the circuit we're working with. There we go, just click it off. And for some added safety, go ahead and grab some electrical tape. Cover that breaker up so anyone at the box knows that they shouldn't touch it. And as a final level of safety, let's go ahead and turn that light switch off, cover it with tape. And again, just don't want to take any chances. Simple to do. Okay, we're going to head outside to the fixture itself now. There are 2 Phillips head screws on the top of the fixture holding the globe assembly on. Depending on the age of your light, this might take a little extra pressure or extra effort to get those loosened up. If you see, I'm leaving the screws in place. It's snowing out. Don't want to lose those in the snow. Let me take the globe down here. And we're going to come back and grab those screws we left behind. Store them away, and we'll know where they are when we put it back together later. Alright, here's a little bit better angle. We're showing the heatsink. The heatsink and the module are attached together, and there's some thermal grease in between to dissipate the heat. All we need to worry about are these 3 Phillips screws holding the heatsink onto the fixture. Once we get the heatsink down, there's a quick disconnect wiring harness. We just need to pinch it, and it'll come right apart for us. There we go. All right, let's take everything inside here. There's the globe, there's the heatsink, there are all the screws. We want to keep track of those. Then we're going to go back outside and we're going to grab that module. All right, so the power supply is held in place with 2 very small Phillips head machine screws. We're going to want to make sure to hold on to at least one of these screws so that we can remount the new power supply using the zip tie with the mounting hole. Once we get this second screw out, we're going to play with the wires. So we have wires coming in from the light switch. We also have wires from the photocell. So the photocell actually acts as a switch that turns the light off during the day so you don't have to think about it. Okay, we have some electrical tape to deal with. That was put on there at the factory to keep moisture out of the connection. We have some wire nuts to remove, and keep in mind all the white or neutral wires do all connect together at the same place. Once we get this wire nuts off, this fixture actually had a zip tie around the white wires holding it together, so we got to get rid of that. Now we just need to untwist the wires, and that module will come right out, and we can take it inside to work on it further. Alright, we've brought the old power supply into the house. We're just going to need the connector from that one to connect onto our new power supply. We just have to do a little prep work on our new power supply first. First thing we're going to do, we're going to take about a 1/2 inch of insulation off of all 4 of the wires. On the right side we have the red and black, which is our DC power, which will be going to our LED module, red being positive, black being negative. On the left side of the module, we have brown and blue. The brown is the incoming AC power from our photocell, and the blue wire is going to be the neutral or white wire. So we'll get about a 1/2 inch insulation off of those 2 wires as well. And then we're going to get our connector from our old power supply connected to our new power supply. So this has a little bit thicker wire. These wires are about 10 gauge. We have the red, which is going to go to our red on our new power supply, and the yellow, which is going to connect to our black wire. So I've stripped about a 1/2 inch of insulation off of those as well. I'm going to first connect red to red. We're going to get a good solid connection, twisting the wires together. Cover that up with the wire nut, nice and simple. Make it nice and tight. Then we're going to do the other 2 wires, again black to yellow. We're going to twist those wires pretty tight, and then we're going to put the wire nut on, making a secure connection. All right, now that we got the wire nuts on, we're going to come back with a little bit of electrical tape. Electrical tape will make a little bit of a moisture barrier just in case. It certainly doesn't hurt anything. We're inside a housing, shouldn't be a problem, but this certainly can't hurt. So we'll get that electrical tape on there, test that the connections are nice and tight. Get that all sorted out here. All right. Now we can get a couple extra wire nuts. We're going to need those for outside, and we're going to prepare the zip ties. Now, I unfortunately bought zip ties that were a little too short here, so I'm going to have to use a little trick. I'm going to have to cut the mounting hole off of one, and we're just going to basically double up on 2 zip ties here. Get that. We want the mounting hole on the bottom. I'm going to get that connection between the 2 zip ties so that that's right on the corner, and then this tail end is going to go through, make a nice snug fit, and then we can snip the ends off there. Hold them with your finger or they're going to go flying, of course. Our module is all ready. All right, again, the white wires are neutral, same with our blue, so we want to twist all those together. Want to get them all lined up, twist the wires to get a good solid mechanical connection, and then when those are all nice and tight, we're going to go ahead and cover it up and protect it with our wire nut. There we go, wires are twisted. Get a good grip on it there, get our wire nut going, wind that up until it's nice and snug and the wires actually start to twist. Our final power connection is going to be the red wire, which is the hot, and our brown wire, giving that power to the power supply. Twist those wires together, good mechanical connection, and go ahead and put the wire nut on. With the electrical connections made, we can now try to tuck the new power supply up into the light fixture. Just going to have to work it around to get it in position so we can line up the mounting hole from the zip tie to the threaded hole in the fixture. So I hope you still have one of those screws from the original power supply. It should fit right through the mounting hole and line up with those threads. We're going to go ahead and screw that in, get it as snug as we can. The heatsink and the module are going to hold it in place anyway. Went back in, got the heatsink module. Go ahead and use that connector we just reinstalled to get that plugged in there. We're going to get our 3 screws, Phillips screws from the disassembly. They're a little bit tricky to line up. I like to get all 3 screws started, and then you can torque them down and get them all nice and snug once you've got them all lined up. That seems to be the easiest way to make adjustments. Alright, getting the second screw in there. Got to make sure that wire nut is tucked up underneath. And finally our 3rd screw. Alright, now we can crank them all down, get them tight, nice and snug. And then we're going to go get the globe and put the final piece back on. Put the screws into place, and the screw holes, get that lined up. Get the screw started by hand, feel your way around. Get the other one lined up here. Alright, since we have the screw started, go ahead and finish off with the screwdriver. Get those nice and snugged. Alright, we can go back inside, take off our electrical tape, go ahead and turn on that light switch. Downstairs to the breaker, remove our tape, turn the breaker back on. And as soon as the sun sets, you can see our light is now fully operational again, and to me it actually looks just a little bit brighter than it did before. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, I would appreciate it. And if you'd like to be reminded of new videos, please hit the bell icon. Thanks. Have a great day.